Hey everyone, this is Fabio and welcome back to a snowy London. Has been snow quite a lot in these last couple of days. It's kind of like charming to see the snow all around the city, but it's not very pleasant when you have to, like, I don't know, go to work or go somewhere. It's so annoying. And especially since here in Britain they completely went nuts every time that it snows. The country basically stops and they panic. Oh my god, it's snowing! So, welcome back to a new game discussion video. By the way, this is not a weather forecast. But yeah, I haven't. To be fully honest, I'm doing this discussion video even though I haven't finished the game I'm about to talk. For the simple reason that I believe, even though I haven't finished, I have enough information to give my honest opinion about it and my personal feelings after playing it for almost to completion. I just need to beat the final boss, and yeah, as I'll explain later, that's the reason why I haven't finished it yet. But I would like to, because I really enjoyed it. And the game is Mega Man ZX Advent on the DS. I really enjoyed playing a game on my DSi, which is so small, tiny, and cute compared with like this beast of the 3DS. Just it was very nice. I would have played on my 3DS, but I'm not entirely sure because it's, as you can see, this is a North American import for some reason, and for what I know, the 3DS is actually region lock, so maybe it worked, maybe it didn't, I have no idea, but I played on the DS, it was fine. A Mega Man game, kind of out of nowhere, but to be honest, it's exactly what I needed after playing Persona 4 Golden for 66 hours. I really need something more action-based. And I got the inspiration, I think it was like maybe a week ago, 10 days ago or something like that, I don't remember very well, but that long, epic Mega Man video made by Happy Console Gamer and Rodman about Mega Man, and listening to that amazing episode really scratched the itch of Mega Man. I haven't played one in a long time, maybe I'm thinking since the original ZX, again on the DS. And just to give an idea of the timeline, I think I've played that while I was still living in Italy, so we're talking about almost 10 years ago. So it's been a while since a Mega Man game, and I always loved the series. Of course, like, who doesn't love Mega Man? It's like Mega Man games are among the first I remember playing, and some of the games are also kind of responsible to getting me into video games, because I always loved Mega Man so much, like the gameplay, the challenge, the music. Always loved it since like the first one on the original NES. So yeah, I was starting playing this. I was really like, oh, I really miss playing a Mega Man. But of course, like the ZX series, it's a bit different. They're not your traditional Mega Man games. And in a way, they're even more interesting, I would say, because this and its prequel are basically Metroidvania Mega Man, and that really intrigued me when I first played the original ZX, and this is basically the same. It's just a continuation of the story, but for what I can remember, the graphics are exactly the same, the gameplay is exactly the same. There are returning characters, at least I recognize the protagonist from the first game. But yeah, it's just a story moving forward. And of course, this is an old game. Is there a date here? In here I can see a 2007, sounds about right. So yeah, it's an old game. What's the story? That's kind of a good question. I mean, there is a simple story here, which I enjoyed anyways, but the thing is, since I've played the original so long ago, I don't remember what happened in that. So I couldn't. And also, I think at the beginning of the game especially, I didn't pay too much attention. I mean, that's my fault, but the basic idea is that you take control of this main character. You can choose, you can make a choice between a male or female protagonist at the beginning. I play as a male character called Gray. You wake up in a secret lab, have to escape. You're saved by these hunters who are just like a group of people collecting bounties on Reploids or other machines from the Mega Man universe. And progressively you understand there is a plot going on, which is called the Game of Destiny. That basically the idea is about Mega Men fighting each other's in order to establish which one among them it's the superior one. So it's a sort of King Mega Man that can like lead the world and lead humanity towards a new peaceful future or something like that, if I remember well. To be completely honest, I didn't play this game for the story. I mean, which it's okay. I didn't mind. I like the idea of this sort of infight among different Mega Men, because it's all focused around this material called biometal, which allowed a human being, referred as a chosen one, to transform into different kind of Mega Men, and each of them has a sort of like. There are different models, so there is a Model A, Model X, Model Z, Model W, all of that, and all of them are different, allows you to transform into different kind of Mega Man. So this is generally the story, and of course like something else is going on in that, but as I said, the story wasn't the main reason why I wanted to play this, because I really want to play a Mega Man game. This was kind of the easiest available to me, and I always wanted to see the sequel of ZX, because to be fully honest, I really enjoy these two games. Maybe it's not proper traditional Mega Man, but it's a nice side story variation of the genre. Because where the game really shines to me, it's the gameplay, of course, like most Mega Man games. And as I said before, this is Metroidvania Mega Man, and it's really cool actually. It works very well. Because that's kind of the main point in fighting the other Mega Men and collecting their power, I have to say. Because you can fight the other robot masters, the various bosses, with your basic model, I would say. The other Mega Men will allow you to explore the world better, mainly. And of course, like they also have their advantages in fights, naturally, because there's the one who can sort of fly. Another one is like has a really quick shot and stuff like that. Once you unlock the ZX model, of course, that I'll say it's probably the best one. But apart from that, the world is divided into these different stages, different maps. Each of them divided into different parts, like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you can explore it as much as you can, as much as you want. Progressively, by unlocking the powers of the other Mega Men, you can re-explore them better in order to find secrets like power-ups for your life or energy, data discs that give you information about enemies, bosses, and characters. Of course, since there isn't a trophy system or something, I'm not entirely sure about like the benefit, but I'm sure like they maybe give you something at the end of the game or something like that. But I didn't really bother with that. At least I wasn't trying too hard to find every single one of them. Whatever. As I said, I wanted to play this to play a Mega Man game, and as I said, I really like the idea of this Metroidvania style gameplay because. It was really fun. I like it. Also, there was the challenge from the state, which is a staple from the series, but it wasn't impossible to say, with one exception, the final part of the game, hence why I haven't finished it yet. Maybe it's just me, or maybe I'm just getting a bit older for this kind of like challenge. But the final part of the game, the final stage, the final boss, it's all one big thing, and it's basically an endurance match, and it's tough. Basically, you have to complete this long stage, fight again, basically the 8 robot masters, Not the Mega Man, but the other 8 Robot Masters. I don't remember their specific name. They have something oids. I don't remember. Not Reploids, but something different. I cannot remember it. So you have to fight those, and then you have to fight a first form, a sort of like final boss, which is in 2 forms, and then the final boss, all in one perfect round, basically. It's really tough. You're bound to die a couple of times. I reached the final boss with my last life. Of course, I died immediately. So I have to restart from the beginning. So you don't have really the chance to get practice on the final boss. I mean, it started to attack me all of a sudden, and after 2 seconds I was dead. I was like, what happened? What do I have to do here? Oh yeah, now I have to restart the whole thing again. Fuck this. I didn't angry quit. I need a break, because it was sort of the 5th time in a row I was doing this thing, because of course eventually you're going to die during the 8 Robot Masters, and then I died on that sort of 3-headed dragon. It was a Mecha Ghidorah! For you Godzilla fans who got the reference, you're awesome. And finally I reached that son of a bitch, and it's really, really tough. But, I mean, it's an old game. I could say also, like, the name of the villain, but it's so painfully obvious. I mean, try to have a little suspense there, guys. But I can understand, as I said, you're not playing this for the story. The graphics, this is a DS game, of course, but I like it. It looks gorgeous. If only we can have like an HD remake of these games, or like a third Mega Man ZX. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I don't think so. It's been more than 10 years now, but I would love to see an updated version of the ZX series. Imagine, like, I'm sure most of you have seen the Mega Man 11 trailer. That sort of graphics in the ZX games. Oh my god, that would be amazing. I would love that, because the sprites are very nice, very well done. I like the graphics, the character models are fine, all of that. It's just, of course, it's an old DS game, but I enjoyed it. I like the graphics. There's not much to tell, of course. Well, characters, again, there's not much to say. Some, like, the motivation of most of these Mega Men in order to like being a part of this game of destiny, some of them were like baffling, I have to say, but the usual, you might say, in this sort of tournament or something, battle royale. One thing that was incredible in this game was the voice acting. Incredible in the sense that it's awful, but hilarious at the same time. It seems like a return to the greatness and perfection of PS1 voice acting or something. It was, oh my god, it was terrible, but as I said, hilarious at the same time. Like, there was that, oh, what was his name? Rose Spark, one of the Robot Master. For some reason, his voice was creepy as fuck, because he sounded like your typical pedophile pervert. Oh my, it was terrible. And with that voice acting, you cannot have them screaming when you kill them or something. To have these characters like, oh, screaming like this. I was laughing my ass off, I have to say. But of course I realized if I want to be properly serious reviewers, of course it's unacceptable as a voice acting, but I love bad voice acting. It's hilarious. I cannot imagine these sort of games without their horrible voice acting, such as like Resident Evil 1, Grandia, and such. I love bad voice acting. It's hilarious, and ZX is no exception. Some characters are more human in the way they talk, but others were just like, wow, the voice acting was bad. Oh, I love it so much. And a bit of a disappointment, to be honest, I have to say, it's the music. Of course, we know Mega Man, the series, it's renowned for its fantastic and catchy music. we're still listening to some of the 8-bit games soundtracks, like from Mega Man 2, 3, and the others. Mega Man X, the soundtrack, it's phenomenal, and I suppose the rest of the series as well. But in here, it's a very bland soundtrack, I have to say. It was alright, it wasn't bad, but I was expecting so much more because it's a Mega Man game, and it's not the DS fault. I remember there are games on the DS with phenomenal soundtracks, like the first that comes to mind, it's Radiant Historia, for example. That soundtrack is amazing. The Castlevania games on the DS. So it's not the console, it's the game. As I said, it's just bland. I mean, it's alright. It's not. There's nothing terrible, but nothing really stands out. Which is kind of a shame. It's not the end of the world, of course, but as I said, for a Mega Man game, I would say, okay, I was expecting much better. I don't remember the soundtrack from the original ZX. So I don't know if it was similar or that was better. I have no idea. So overall, ZX Advent, it's a really fun Mega Man game. If you're like a Mega Man fan, you haven't played this series yet, give it a shot. They're a lot of fun. The gameplay is really where the games shine, as it shows that a Mega Man Metroidvania can work very well. I would love to see a new one of these, for example, on the Switch. For example, like a huge Metroidvania Mega Man in HD. Oh my god, I would buy that in a heartbeat if they'll ever do it. Who knows? Who developed this, actually? I cannot remember. Of course, I mean, it's Capcom because it's Mega Man, but it was a different studio that developed these two games, and also the Zero series, and we'll go back to that in a second. But they did a really good job. I really like this. There are story-driven, but again, kinda. It's not the main reason to play this game. Even though the story is not bad, don't misunderstand me. It's just like, yeah, whatever. But very nicely looking, great gameplay. And at the end of the day, that's the most important element in a Mega Man game. What do you play Mega Man for? The addictive gameplay. And that also brings me to the challenge. I almost forgot, and this is very important. In these games, again, I don't remember for ZX. I suppose it's the same. Give me a break. It's been almost 10 years. Here and there, you can find sort of like save point teleporters, so you can move from one side to the other to the map. And you need to activate those, like in the middle of the level. You need to find what they're called, E-crystals or something. But as you start playing the game, you'll find them plenty of those, and that's not a problem. But it's interesting because only by the end of the level, usually, you're going to find a save point. Because those teleporters, you may say, those... I don't remember the technical name, but let's call them teleporters. You cannot save there. So basically, in proper Mega Man style, so that was great, you have to finish the stage in one good run, basically, or by trying, like, of course, there's a lot of trial and error. Because one thing this game sometimes really annoyed me at times, but not necessarily in a negative way. So it sounds weird, but it makes sense. It's the enemy respawn. Basically, they're respawning immediately. Like the second you leave that portion of the screen and you go back, the enemy's there, and for the most part, you don't expect it to be there already, and you take a hit. That was kind of annoying, but you just need to get used to. And after a while, you get used to this, so you're prepared to like hit the enemy, who all of a sudden is there again. So that was a bit annoying, but the thing with the save points, I read some comments online, people being annoyed because like, oh, I need to save more often. Well, it makes sense in a Mega Man game, not be able to save constantly. That's not the point in this sort of game. But at the same time, I would have very much liked a save point before the final boss, if I have to be honest. But I realize it kind of ruined the experience. You have to, like old Mega Man game, you didn't save in the middle of a stage. Once you beat it, you got a password and you go on. So that's how you do it, and that's how we did it. So it's not that different in here. You have all the transportations, which is good for a Metroidvania game, so you can move to one area to the other in order to find the secrets and all of that. But yeah, in the final stage it would be very useful. But I just need to be patient and try until I manage to know what to do on the final boss. So I think that could be it for Mega Man ZX Advent. I don't think there's much else I need to much else I have to add. It's a fun game. It's really fun. I highly recommend it if you never played the series. They're excellent palate cleanser. As I said, this is exactly what I wanted after Persona 4, and now I jump back to another big RPG. So this is really, really perfect when I played it. So highly recommended. If you are Mega Man fans, maybe you already played it, but if you haven't, give it a shot. They're fun. Maybe, I have no idea, but maybe they're available on the 3DS eShop or something. Who knows? I think it depends on Capcom there. So yeah, that's about it. I think this should be enough on Mega Man ZX. So I'll see you guys next time. So thanks so much for watching, like always. Take care.